Hi, I'm Joshua Hayward, Breath of Life School here in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Thanks for joining us today in what will be an astrological piece, and we are really moving pretty rapidly towards the third of 3 eclipses, and this is a lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn, and it's coming right up on the 4th, and it's actually on the 5th because it's at 12:30 a.m., so it's technically on the 5th. But basically we have an eclipse that's right here on the birthday of this country. I think that's kind of meaningful in the sense that, freedom and equality and some of these really powerful things that are really coming up in society that we're trying to get to. This eclipse really is pretty meaningful when we look at all of that stuff. And an eclipse obviously is the sun opposite the moon. This is what happens from an astrological or an astronomical point of view. This is what happens. And so the sun is at 13 degrees of Cancer and the moon is at 13 degrees of Capricorn. Okay, so of course the sun is the United States is a Cancer. So of course here we are. And in fact, the 13 degrees is the degree of the United States' birth sign. So here we are. Now we have the moon opposite that. Now what is really charging up this eclipse? When I say powerful eclipse, what do I really mean by that? Well, you got the sun opposite the moon, but then there's Mars and Chiron and that little asteroid Lilith. Okay, they're on a 90-degree square to each of the sun and the moon. So what we have is this T-square, which is a challenging thing. And we got 3 planets on the side of that handle of that T-square. And that's what we need to look at, because that's a challenge to ourselves as individuals and within the collective. And of course the eclipse is not just happening for America, it's happening for everybody around the world. Okay, so what are these challenges though? We're looking at Mars, and it's in the sign of Aries, and we're looking at the wounded healer, or Chiron, really close to it and conjunct it, also in the sign of Aries. And then we have that asteroid Lilith, which is also conjunct. Okay, and all 3 of them are on a square to the sun and the moon. So I'm just trying to give you that tension in that square so you can feel that. As I'm speaking, you can almost feel this tension, especially around male energy. This has got to do with healing male energy and re-identifying male energy. What's becoming archaic and the thing of the past is the shadow side of male energy. And that is the violent side. That is the side that we can attribute to the patriarchy. And we're looking at governments, we're looking at mainstream male energy, which is violent and abusive. And when we look at what happened with George Floyd, and we look at what's happening in the cry for equality and the cry for freedom and justice from the African American community, and we can see the police misusing that male energy by kneeling on that man's neck for almost 9 minutes, and we hear, "I can't breathe." Okay, so that is the type of male energy that's very assertive, and it's more than assertive, it's aggressive, and it accepts violence as a way of life, and something that really is a meaningful way of meaningful means of dealing with things. Okay, so now we're looking at the rebirth, hopefully, in the entry of a new male energy that's based more on alignment with divine masculine principles. That's what we want. Okay, so the healing is about Chiron. Chiron in Aries is saying we need to heal the I am. Aries says I am. We're looking at healing the I am energy, and we're healing the I am male or I am identified with masculine energy. All right, so that's really powerful. Of course, this is my perspective on what needs to happen with male energy. You can feel that in your body, as I challenged you to a minute ago. What does this feel like when I'm speaking these words? How does that feel to you? We obviously need to transform male energy. That's what this whole thing is about. All right? And then so let's bring in the masculine. Let's bring in the Lilith energy here of the asteroid. Okay, Lilith represents something that's hidden and that is blind and that wants to be revealed. It's passionate, it's strong, it's intense. And all that energy, which is more of a feminine type of energy, it's wanting, as it goes through the sign of Aries, it's trying to show us that there's something about male energy that we have not experienced, at least in any really meaningful group context. And that is the peaceful warrior. That is the male energy that sees what's needed to protect the goddess. Okay? That sees what's going on with the divine feminine and wants to support that and uses assertive energy, but not aggressive energy or violent energy. We can be assertive in our lives. We don't have to be violent around that. And I'm speaking to men and to women and to non-binary people. I'm speaking to all people, no matter what your gender identification is, or if you don't even have one. There's still male and female energy, and that's what this eclipse is all about. It's got to do with healing that. All right, and with the moon, we're being challenged on an emotional level, and with the sun, we're challenged with that knowingness of that solar energy that really shines on us. And the sun brings light to what we want to see as truth. And so we're developing a new masculine energy on the planet. You guys know about it. You already know what I'm talking about. I'm just putting it into words that you can actually get a concept that's really strong around that and give it a name, give it some kind of a structure. That's what I'm here today to talk to you about. This is an enormous astrological event that, when coupled with the other eclipses that have gone before, and a stationing of several different planets that are also happening here. There's an intensification of these energies. People are getting mad. They're getting really mad out on the streets. In some places, things are not safe. Anything can happen anywhere right now because we're at that pregnant moment of change. We're trying to birth out something else. And there's a conflict and people don't know what to do. But if we can get in touch with a healthy, divine, masculine, male energy that is not reactive and doesn't react and respond from different wounding that we have inside us, and doesn't respond in a way that, we're trying to save things, and then, we've actually destroyed something while we try to save something. This is what I'm talking about. This is male energy that's decided. It's from the heart, and it knows what to do. In the tarot, we look at the Emperor card. Like, I use the Crowley deck. The Thoth deck is really powerful. The symbol on it is Aries, and the Hebrew letter is Sadi, which means balance and reflection and meditation, telling you something about who a good emperor might be. And we're all the emperors of our lives, aren't we? We either really take care of things in a positive way and take care of that empress or that goddess, or we're more like that mainstream and that aggressive kind of thing that reacts from fear and tries to control things. All right, so that's the difference. This is what this eclipse is about. There's also a really cool thing about Venus is on a trine to Saturn during this eclipse. So this really strengthens how we think about goddess energy. And so there's a strengthening of the goddess as we change that God energy, as we change that divine male energy, change to that divine masculine or male energy. So think about that, feel that in your body. And when you begin to go into the 4th of July and we're seeing the fireworks and stuff like that, let us think about who we are and how we assert ourselves in our lives, and how we might feel when that masculine energy is really taking care of business in a beautiful way. In conclusion, I would suggest that you watch in my temple series, in our Temple of Light series, the video that we're also about to launch and probably will be launched by the time you see this and hear this. There's a thing called Temple of Balance, and that's about balancing the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. This is really the perfect